Keselowski was gonna win. I told you we're not gonna have Kurt. God damn it, because I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. God damn it. Okay. I expect a lot of Vince McMahon impressions of this. What I was thinking it was going to be a short review, but based on what happened near the end, it proved it's going to be a pretty lengthy review. Why did I thought it was going to be short? Mainly because I was watching the MRN broadcast, so you'll be hearing stuff that you will not know. Oh. Let me turn off the echoing in the background because I am getting double feedback. Anyways. Welcome to the 2015 Auto Club 400 race review. In case you're wondering where Rain is, he'll join in a matter of minutes, and I'll tell you why. So here's why. It has to do with the race winner. But we're not going to talk about the race just yet. Here's my thoughts about what many people called it rigged, bullshit, the race that NASCAR refused to give Kurt Busch the win. The race that screwed Kurt Busch, the race that Kurt Busch was robbed, the race that Keselowski was lucky, the phantom debris yellow cost Kurt Busch. And what else? What else am I missing? No caution. NASCAR is rigged. They blew it. They should have thrown a caution when Biff will spin or wreck. There's so many things that people has called this race. None of them positive for the most part. And for those who are on Brad Keselowski's side, they say, deal with it, blah, blah, blah. I am not one of those two sides. I'm going to be neutral partisan, bring you a good review and what I saw and what I think about the race. So, first things first, all 43 cars finished. Yes, despite everything that's happened, every one of them finished. I'll tell you who was the last car winner. For those who don't know what last car means, go check out Brock Beer's blog. He keeps track of every time that a 43rd place finisher ends up and how many times that's happened. It may surprise you who it is. More or less surprising that Jeff Burton finished less than 5 laps down. Yeah! Alright, in case you have not noticed, Brad Keselowski won the race. He is the 4th different winner after 5 races, preventing Kevin Harvick from winning 3 in a row. However, Harvick gets his 8th straight top 2 finish. He's 3 away of tied Richard Petty's record from 1975. Joey Logano made a NASCAR record for finishing on the lead lap for the 22nd straight race on March 22nd. That's a side note, but I'll bring you all the stats, random facts that probably doesn't mean anything. People may be wondering, why am I not upset about Brad Keselowski winning? Here's the thing. I was too emotionally invested on Harvick getting the top 2 and also typing all the notes and information for this race because obviously if I'm going to do a race review, I want to do it right. That's why I didn't do a Vegas. That's why I didn't do a Phoenix one. Even though I saw the whole race in Phoenix, it was spring break. And I did not want to do a race review of only 10 to 15 minutes of just nothing out of it. I want to bring you as much information that probably means something or it doesn't mean anything. And once Rain joins, he will explode based on what happened. My thoughts before he joins. My thoughts. The question is, NASCAR's officials have said there was a lot of spotters. The crew chiefs have mentioned, mainly the spotters, that they were reporting debris on the racetrack. And I'm not talking about the last caution. I'm talking about the second to last caution. The so-called phantom debris yellow. Again, that's what they said. Obviously, Fox didn't show it. Obviously, we don't know how the Biffle got turned around. And based on Biffle, how he got turned around and what happened in the outcome, go ahead, Rain, just explode. Just don't ruin my speaker.
I'll let you finish. And then I'm going to explode. So go ahead and finish. I'll save what I'll say for later. But I'm telling you, I'm going to fucking bury Brian France tonight.
Alright, I guess I could talk about the entire race, I guess. But obviously Fox did not show the replay, and I did saw a little evidence down there, but I'm not going to say it right now. Anyways, moving on. My question is, who won the race? Who does debris yellows usually help? The guy that finished 9th most of the time, in my opinion, but not really. So, in other sense, at least let's take a look at the bright side. Here's the positives out of this. Gordon got another top 10. Still not where he needs to be. And you got a couple guys that took me by surprise. In fact, like every race, I'll give you updates of the replacement drivers. So, anyways, let's talk about the race before we get to the raging climax of the Auto Club 400 in Fontana. So Kurt Busch won the pole, his second start back after being reinstated by NASCAR. You're going to be hearing a lot of Kurt Busch the entire race, for the most part. So, he started on the pole, dominated practice. He was the fastest everyone. Every single practice, he was fast. He is trying to be the first driver since Carl Edwards in Phoenix of 2010. I think it was the Subway Fresh 500, if I remember. I think it was the MRN or the Fox broadcast brought it up. It was the Fox broadcast that answered my question that I had in mind later on. Anyways, he starts on the pole. David Reagan replacing Kyle Busch starts in fourth. Really good qualifying. Had a lot of expectations of him doing well because that's the race-winning car from a year ago. Brad Moffitt replacing Brian Vickers yet again. He's not in the 34. I'll tell you who's in the 34 if you haven't noticed already. Brad Moffitt starts 30th. I just hope Vickers recovers. Yes.
Why is it always Vickers? That's the. I mean, I know I'm still mad and everything, but I'm calming down when I say this. Why does Vickers always have this happen to him? It's like he comes back, we're so happy, we're ready for him to come back, and then all of a sudden, another thing pops up. This sucks. It really does. I was so happy for him to come back last week, and now this happens. He just can't catch a break.
Certainly cannot catch a break. Well, I hope he recovers. I will mention Vickers later on because I did listen for the entire race on MRN with the closing laps on Fox at the same time. So you'll be hearing stuff that you did not start from the Fox race because I listened to the MRN because I am not a live streaming guy whatsoever. But thankfully, I have Xfinity. Thankfully, now that I'm back from college for at least 7 more weeks before the semester ends, I can actually watch the race on Fox Sports on the Xfinity site because Fox Sports Go can suck my balls. Won't download my freaking computer. So I decided, you know what? It's going to be short. It's MRN and probably will not take much notes. Anyways, Brad Moffitt's replacement because is Chris Buescher. Yes, Chris Buescher made his Cup debut. He started 33rd. So once the green flag came out, Kurt Busch led the opening laps, and then Kevin Harvick trying to win again, which trying to go for 3 in a row.
Somebody brought this up to me on Facebook saying that Las Vegas was actually supposed to be Chris Buescher's debut because somebody actually took pictures, and it's on J-Ski, if you don't believe me, that Brendan Gaughan had a Gen 6 62 car with the casino on it, but he failed to qualify. Is that true?
I swear Brendan Gaughan was in that race. I think Brendan Gaughan drove that race. Let me look up 2015 Cobalt 400. I'm pretty sure Brendan Gaughan made the field. Yes, he did.
It's on J-Ski if you don't believe me. I went on J-Ski earlier just looking at pictures, and I saw Brendan Gaughan 2015 number 62 casino car. And I'm like, he really raced that at Las Vegas?
Brendan Gaughan started last, finished 38th, 250 laps out of 267 completed. Drove for Jay Robinson. Yes, Brendan Gaughan was in the Vegas race. I'm not sure. Oh, here's the guys who failed to qualify at Las Vegas. Mike Bliss, Reed Sorensen, Travis Quapple, Mike Wallace, and Matty Benedetto. Speaking of those guys, if I remember, here's the drivers who did not make the field for the Auto Club 400, which were Travis Quappo and Reed Sorensen, and Jay Robinson's other car, the 66, withdrew. Nobody, I guess they didn't find a driver, in which Tanner Berryhill tried to make a qualifying attempt last week. All right, going back to the race. I just hope Vickers comes back soon, but man, this is just a tough break. Harvick was took the lead and was pulling way up until on lap number 24. David Reagan and Jeff Gordon were battling for, I think it was a top 10 spot. I don't remember. Reagan was doing really well. He's showing little Kyle Busch. Here's the thing. I've read a lot of comments that say people said once Gordon to hit the wall in Martinsville, Gordon turned around Reagan. Gordon did this. Gordon did that. My angle after I saw the television coverage is that Reagan was driving aggressively. Yes, Gordon too. Both of them were driving aggressively. Reagan got by Gordon. There was no clipping. There was
The
no touch.
videos
I
on
could call it arrow loose. He got loose, turned around because of the sucker hole. That's what happened to Reagan. But Gordon was not happy with him at all.
the video's up on YouTube if you want to
Yeah, I
see it.
saw
Fox
it.
Sports uploaded it.
No, I saw. That's why I know that.
I remember when it happened, everybody, not from my league, but everybody in Newark and everybody on the NASCAR 14 page was like, oh, Gordon just dumped Reagan. Gordon just dumped Reagan. Gordon's not in a good mood. Way to go out, final season, champ. I mean, they were just...
Go watch. I'm trying to think of a similar incident. Somebody mentioned. I saw one of the comments on Instagram. I think it was on NASCAR's Instagram photo when Keselowski won. Is that the same thing happened to Dale at the 2001 Daytona 500? He got the sucker hole effective when everybody were threatening Sterling Martin like Rey Mysterio Jr. right now. And by the way, off topic. Those who think Mysterio killed el hijo de Pedro Aguayo needs to
Well, the
get
total
over it.
accident.
Rey Mysterio had nothing to do with it. It was just a tragic accident that just happened in a wrestling ring.
I saw the video of it before it got taken down on YouTube because I don't know why they didn't stop the match.
Yeah, but since thoughts are to the whole Aguayo family, it's a legendary wrestling family down in Mexico, but you get my point. Rey Mysterio is getting the Sterling Marlin treatment.
Do you think Ray? Do you think?
Hold on. Go watch if you can. Several angles when Verhardt, and probably most of you, if not all of you, have seen. You have your conclusion. For those who see this down in the future, what do you think? That Gordon, who's to blame of the wreck? Gordon, Reagan, or it's just a racing incident? Thoughts about the whole thing with Reagan before I move on, because I have to take care of something real quick.
Well, I watched the race on both television and the live stream at the same time. Don't ask me why. I was just bored. And I figured, well, I'll watch this because I got a live stream where you can watch the race even when it's under commercial. So that's what I use. And I saw Reagan racing Gordon like a butthole, and Gordon retaliated. Did Gordon touch him? No. It was just a little bit of, I guess it's just a little bit of dirty air, and it spun Reagan around. And everybody wants to blame Gordon for wrecking Reagan. It's like, oh, Boyer had an anger issue, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, if Gordon really wanted to, he really would have dumped Reagan. And he would have made it look like he would dumped it. But I know Gordon's usually better than that. I don't think, usually he don't do that unless you really piss him off. Clint Boyer, 2012 Phoenix. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, I'm going to save what I'm going to say about Brian France and Brad at the end when we get there. But going into this race, I was pretty happy. I wanted Kurt or Harvick to win, and they almost did, but then that happened. And people want to say that when the debris caution came out on the backstretch with 2 to go, right before the white flag, people say that Fox actually showed the debris. No, they fucking didn't. I watched the fucking race on television and on the computer. I even went back on the computer and rewinded the stream to see what happened. They did not show the debris on the track. So let me get this straight. NASCAR is throwing these phantom cautions for the so-called debris, and there's no debris on the track. What the hell? They see a fucking water bottle? Oh, like what the fuck's a water bottle going to a 3,400-pound fucking car? I've seen these cars run over fucking cowboy hats and obliterate things. I've seen Danica Patrick run over a fucking boot. well, technically a shoe, but in my opinion, it was a boot at what was it, Toronto or Montreal, I think. She ran over a shoe. Yeah, it kind of messed up her car, but she still was able to drive. So you mean to tell me that NASCAR is going to start calling debris caution for fucking hot dog wrappers and fucking Pepsi cans, Coca-Cola bottles and shit? Fuck out of here. Bullshit. The mere fact that they didn't show us what the hell the debris was, and people want to bring up, oh, you're talking about the debris caution with Kyle Larson. No, I'm talking about the fucking caution that happened before Kurt hit the line. And I'm going to say this for later, but my opinion, I don't care what anyone else says. I think NASCAR did rig this race. This is one of those times. This is one of those very few times where I actually say that NASCAR rigged the race. Because they didn't want Kurt to win. They knew if Kurt won, it would look bad because the media would be pounding their throats. Ooh, NASCAR is going to have a wife beater come back to the sport and win the second race back. Blah, 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 blah. He's a wife beater. He doesn't deserve to be in the sport. Blah, 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 blah. Who gives a fuck what the media says, okay? Do you think I fucking care to sit on my fucking ass and listen to Nancy Grace and etc. run off their fucking mouth 24/7 about, ooh, we don't like this guy because he won and he supposedly beat his wife and he got suspended for the first part of the season. Now he's back in the second race. He wins. NASCAR's giving him a chip off the shoulder. Blah blah blah. I mean, this is fucking stupid. Kurt had that fucking win. There was no way Harvick was going to catch him unless Harvick were to dive bomb, which knowing Harvick, he probably would have. Would he have stuck it in? I don't know. Would he have pulled it off? I don't know. But in my opinion, Kurt had the win, and for NASCAR to do that shit, fuck you. To whoever called the cautions, fuck you. To Brian France and Mike Helton, go fuck yourselves. Because you're the reason why this sport's dying. You're the reason why this fucking sport is rotting the way it is. When Brian France got a hold of NASCAR, well, technically, Bill France Jr. was around when the chase first came out. But in many people's opinion, a lot of people's opinion think that it was Bill that came up with the chase. No, it wasn't. The person that came up with the idea for a chase format was Brian France himself. Brian came up with the format and gave it to his father at the time. And unfortunately, his father agreed to it, so did Mike Helton and Roger Pemberton. So this whole fucking chase format came along. Brian France is the cancer of NASCAR. And somebody brought up, what if you gave the top spot to Mike Helton? Still wouldn't do nothing. Sure, Mike probably would do a couple of better things. Still wouldn't change things. NASCAR is going to need somebody with a big pair of fucking balls and honor for the sport to take over. And considering how naive Brian France is and how much he's a fucking money hog, that's probably going to be another 30, 40, hell, it could be fucking 50 years from now before we see that. And by the time that's done, by the time that comes around, there probably won't be that many NASCAR fans left. I mean, look at Talladega and Daytona. 10 years ago, they were fucking selling the place out. You had like 200, 300,000 fucking people selling that track out. Now, you watch these races, there's nobody at the Xfinity races because of the fact Cup regulars race in there. Yes, I know that's been a factor for as long as back in the day when Petty was around. It was popular back then. It was big back then. These days, it don't mean fucking jack shit. When you got fucking guys like, no offense when I say this, Junior, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Brad, Joey Logano, going down to the Xfinity series and Truck series and fucking taking wins away from these guys who are trying to bust their fucking ass to get into the same spot that those guys are. Yes, Sprint Cup drivers race down in Xfinity and Truck. Should they? My opinion, no. Ooh, but it helps the rookies get better. Well, yeah, it sort of does. But when you have these fucking guys going down there and just hogging up wins like Kyle Busch does, that's not helping those rookies out. That's not helping them get a full-time job in Sprint Cup. That's just showing how fucking egotistical and arrogant these fucking Sprint Cup guys are. I'm glad Gordon never went back to fucking Xfinity series. I'm glad Gordon doesn't do that shit. I'm glad Johnson, well, Junior to an exception, but he don't race that much. I'm glad guys like Gordon, Johnson, and most of the Sprint Cup guys don't fucking go down there. I'm glad. Fuck Brian France, though. That's all I gotta say about that. One of the worst fucking NASCAR races one of the worst finishes to a NASCAR race I've seen in a long fucking time. And the people out there that wanna say, oh, well, you're not entitled to your opinion. Brad won. Shut the fuck up, hater. Everybody uses the fucking internet. You want to label me and Otto as a part of a internet racing community, just like the IWC? There's no such thing as the IWC. There's no such thing as a fucking internet racing community. We all use the fucking internet. If I don't like Brad Keselowski, I don't fucking like him. Don't fucking force me to like something I don't want to fucking like. I go on the 14 page and I say my opinion. This race sucked. What do I get shoved down my throat? Oh, you're a fucking hater. Take your opinion and shove it up your ass. Go get a Kleenex and shove it up your ass, and then wipe your face with it. How about this, Brad Keselowski fan? I know I said everybody has an opinion. I'm not changing your opinion. But for these Brad Keselowski fans to go after me for having an opinion on me not liking their guy, fuck you. You know what? If you like Brad Keselowski so much, why don't you go to his fucking house or go up next to him, bend down and suck his fucking dick? How's that? Same motherfuckers who want to say Brad's the next Dale Earnhardt. Shut the fuck up and get out. Brad Keselowski's testicles ain't even the size of fucking Dale's testicles when Dale was alive. Dale had a fucking bigger pair of fucking balls. At least Dale wasn't a fucking pussy hiding behind his pit crew, like fucking Brad is. When Brad won the fucking Auto Club race, I turned the fucking race off. I said, fuck this, I'm not watching the burnout. I'm not watching fucking Victory Lane, I'm done. Only reason I'm watching Martinsville is because of Chase fucking Elliott. That's it. I'll probably even mute the damn race. I don't want to listen to fucking Darrell Waltrip and them talk about how Brad is one of the best drivers in NASCAR these days. I don't want to fucking hear it. I'll mute my damn TV if I have to. The only reason I'm watching Martinsville is because of Chase Elliott. If Chase Elliott somehow misses qualifying and doesn't make the race, I'm not fucking watching it. I'm sitting it out. And if people want to shit on me if people want to shit on my opinion because I don't want to watch the fucking Martinsville race for what happened this week, then fuck you. I'm entitled to my fucking opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Okay, I like NASCAR. I grew up around this fucking sport. I've been around this sport since I was 3.5 years old. I've seen the greats. I've seen the greats like fucking Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Tony Stewart and Gordon in their prime. Calling Brad Keselowski the next Dale Earnhardt Sr. is a spit in my fucking face, and probably to Otto's face as well. You're comparing this fucking horse-faced piece of shit who don't give a fuck about anyone but himself to Dale Earnhardt. How about this? To all the Brad Keselowski fans that want to compare Brad to Dale Sr., how about you sit down and go watch the movie Dale? Just sit down and watch the movie Dale. Just sit there and watch it very carefully. And then you'll understand why Dale is 100 times better than Brad ever will be. Some of NASCAR's most famous quotes of all time came from Dale Sr. himself. Quotes such as, "It doesn't matter who has the fastest car, it's the one that refuses to lose." That came from Dale Earnhardt Sr. What's Brad Keselowski's most famous quote? "I like horses." Really? We went from, "It doesn't matter who has the fastest car, it just matters who refuses to lose," to, "I like horses." And you want to compare this fucking horse-faced piece of shit to Dale? Fuck you. Fuck you. I know this probably locks Brad in the chase, and I don't fucking care. He's just gonna get eliminated anyway. Brad Keselowski fans want to go after me because I don't like their fucking driver. It's my fucking opinion. If I don't like Brad, I don't fucking like him. Don't fucking change my opinion. If you want to go after me, how about I just fucking block you? Or I'll just come up with points and facts to prove that Dale Sr. is more of a man than fucking Brad ever will be. I can't remember the guy that caused the cautions in NASCAR. He was some guy brought him up on Facebook. I can't remember the guy's fucking name now that brings out the cautions in NASCAR. But whoever it is that calls the shots to call the cautions in NASCAR, fire him. Fucking fire him. But I know that's not going to happen. Hold on. Like I was saying before I got interrupted. I know it's not going to happen because Brian France is in cahoots with basically everybody in NASCAR. Everybody's got to kiss Brian's ass. I watched the fucking interview that he did before the Daytona 500, and some of the shit he said made my fucking blood boil. The fact they asked him, they literally asked him, and this was a longer interview. The longer version's up on YouTube. They asked him, "What is your thoughts of the attendance rates in NASCAR? Do you think that the attendance rates are okay? And have you noticed that they've been going down a couple of drops for the past last 5 years?" He literally said that attendance is okay. There's no problem with attendance. Attendance is not dropping. Talladega and Daytona sell out just fine. All the fans are happy with how NASCAR is with the new chase format, and that NASCAR attendance is actually going to be on the rise in the near future. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I hope this motherfucker never has offspring. I really hope that. Because if this motherfucker has offspring, whoever it is, whether it be Bob France, fucking Dylan France, whoever the fuck they name, whatever Bob decides to name his children, if he ever fucking has one, there's no hope, because then that person's going to end up taking over NASCAR when Brian steps down, and his son's going to be the same fucking, going to do the same fucking shit, probably even worse. What's next? A 43 car chase? I guarantee you in about 20 or 30 years, it's going to be like 43 cars in the fucking chase. Brian don't give a fuck about the sport. I know he don't. I'm getting sick and tired of people saying that he actually does because of what family he is in. It doesn't fucking matter what fucking family you're fucking raised in. I know Brian don't give a fuck about the sport. All he cares about is sponsorship and money. Why else did Winston drop NASCAR as the main series? Why else did Nationwide leave just to go to Junior for a full-time ride? Why else did they have contract issues with Fox and NBC and ESPN over the past couple of years? Why else did NASCAR not do anything with the whole Brad Keselowski situation last year? What's with all these debris cautions? What's with all this so-called rigging in the race? NASCAR, stop trying to be WWE. Brian France, stop trying to turn to Vince McMahon #2. Because the way you're running NASCAR right now, you fucking are. That's all I have to say about that. Fuck Brian.
It was me! It was me! All okay. Serious, bud. Sold out crowd, 174,000 people, roughly around that estimate, and you have people venting about what happened at the finish. I'll give you my thoughts. The fact that, like I mentioned already, I was too emotionally invested on Harvick in the top 2 that I just like, oh yeah, Keselowski won, as I was taking notes. But it was me, Kurt. I don't want you to win the goddamn race. I told Stig, 2 Stigs to wave the caution flag. God damn it! And if you don't like it, then you're fired. Okay. Continuing on, it's like I cannot stand Brad. Period. Bar none. The fact that my bottom 5 favorite drivers won 3 out of the first 5 races is like, where did I left off? So basically on the 25th lap, oh wait, you mentioned something else that I was gonna bring up. Oh yeah, in the Spike TV documentary, the I Am Dale Earnhardt, I think Dale Jr. even mentioned that he does get pissed off that people compare any driver being compared to Dale. And I do agree, it's like, if Junior is pissed off about it, then I can understand big time, because it's like, there's no other
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, because I saw the documentary, I saw that part when it came up, and they said, what do you think about people being compared to Dale? And the way his answer is, saying that nobody can ever be compared to Dale, I knew who he was targeting that toward. He was targeting that toward Brad. Just the way he said it. He was targeting it toward Brad. He don't fucking like Brad. I know he don't. And props to him. Props to him for sticking it to the fucking Brad Keselowski fans who say that Brad's just like Dale Sr. Props to Junior.
Even though Brad was Junior's protege back in the day, like 6 years ago when he was... And I did mention in the 1999 Goodies Headache Powder reaction video that Keselowski, one of the key reasons why he had this so much animosity towards Kyle Busch, going back to the race in the 18 car for a moment, is that he thought that he was somewhat jealous and envy of Kyle because he got into the gong show that Roush used to hold.
I can't believe I'm fixing to say
he thought age limit was a factor, but no, Kyle got in, but he got outbeaten by 2 guys you never heard from ever or since, which is Nathan Hasselou
Yeah.
And that other guy from the one that got who was it?
I
Nathan?
can't believe I'm fucking saying this, but I hope when Kyle Busch comes back, I hope he takes that fucking cast off his leg, goes to the track, and beats Brad's fucking head in with it. And I fucking hate Kyle Busch with a passion.
Chuck
Still, I
Hosfeld
didn't
was
wish
the other
no
guy.
I didn't
Yeah,
wish no harm on him though. I just hate him.
man, the sport does sorely need Kyle Busch. In my opinion, going back to the Atlanta PRN broadcast, they did mention it's kind of weird without a Busch brother. At least they got Kurt. At least Kurt brings some news, but at that point, the first set of pit stops on the 25th lap was what would it be? 1/8 distance, if I remember. First set of pit stop, Matt Kenseth exited out first. And I did notice it's like Matt Kenseth was driving the walk car. Man, it brings good memories, but also bad memories. 2006. Anyways, no, I have no animosity towards Kenseth these days. I really don't.
When
Kenseth
was the
exited
last
out
time he
first.
raced? When was the last time he raced Duval on the car?
2009 or 2008. No, Kenseth won the Daytona 500 in the walk car in '09. So yeah, I will mention 2009 later on with Kenseth because I did pointed it out. Kenseth exited out at first, Denny Hamlin second, Kevin Harvick third, Brad Keselowski fourth, Kurt Busch fifth. Busch was reporting on the loose car. Gordon had a tight car along with Sam Horse Jr. and Joey Logano. Everybody went before tires. AJ Allmendinger, fifth in points going in, had the hood up. Apparently, by the MRN broadcast, they were mentioning there was a plug wire problem. For those who have joined in, I've watched the MRN broadcast for the entire time and only like the closing laps on Fox, so I'm bringing you what MRN's mentioned in case if you're wondering. The stuff that I mentioned was not brought up on Fox, it was brought up on MRN. So, anyways, Alex Bowman, random note, he led a lap, which I assume he did stay out. So yes, he did lead a lap. And that should be noted, it's been 31 races since Toyota has won a race along with Denny Hamlin, which was the 2014 Aaron's 499 at Talladega, in which Justin Allgaier spun. There was the whole front bumper was ripped off and brought out the caution on the white flag lap. When you think of that when Hamlin last won at Talladega, and when you think of when Biffle, what do you think of both of them? One was brought up the yellow. Clearly, there was debris on the track, and one in the sense of Biffle spinning, no caution, along with Jeff Burton spinning in the 2011 Coke 600, no caution, even though Harvick won, despite Junior leading that lap before he ran out of gas. You do remember those two races, right? When one brought up the caution, one didn't. You'll like to expand on that by any chance?
I just got back. What?
I mentioned that when Denny Hamlin won at Talladega, Justin Allgaier spun and did wreck. The front bumper was ripped off, but Allgaier pretty much went back on track. The caution was brought up. Then I also brought up the 2011 Coke 600 when Jeff Burton spun on the green-white checkered in turn one. No caution. Junior led before he ran out of gas. What do you think of
You know
those
NASCAR.
compared to Biffle spinning?
It just goes to show you how much NASCAR don't give a fuck about Biffle anymore, and neither do the fans. I mean, look at what they've been putting on Biffle's Facebook. Oh God, there's people going on. If you want to, you can go on Facebook right now and go on Greg Biffle's Facebook, his old Facebook profile. There's people on there calling him dusty old fart, grandpa,
Oh,
get out
come
of the car,
on.
old man.
I know Hornaday is not full-time after all, but come on. He's a Busch Series champion, Craftsman track. I know he's done some questionable moves like Watkins Glen 2004 by good old Stromall and the Gerstlauer Dodge. Like I got right on by dummy, I guess. Oh, come on. No, I don't know who turned Biffle. I don't know. Probably the people who were there in Fontana, including Joseph and fuck, who was it? I know he went to the race. I know that. I need to look at the raw footage to see if anybody has the footage, any clip of somebody turning to Biffle, whatever. But Fox didn't show it, so obviously they're going to put the target on Biffle as well. No surprise. And I did saw a comment from somebody commented.
Your thoughts on everyone on Facebook calling Biffle a dusty old fart and grandpa and old man.
I imagine what Morgan Shepherd had to go through it loud, and I don't even want to think about Morgan Shepherd. I hate the fact he's going to be defined for that moment instead of him winning 3 races at Atlanta. Was it 2 or 3? He won 3 races at Atlanta. 86, 90, and 93. Oh yeah, 1993, the Atlanta Blizzard 500, aka Motorcraft 500, which was broadcast on TNN, not ABC, which was supposed to be the initial, or it was ESPN. I don't remember. I don't know what race I was Morgan Shepherd after Loudon.
You wanna know what race I think we should do if it's up on YouTube for the next classic NASCAR race review? 1992 Hooters 500.
That's gotta be November. That's gotta be a November thing. I was thinking like the 2002 Chevy Monte Carlo 400. Oh, Chevy Monte Carlo 400. Jeff Green finished 3rd. Where is he now? Starting park in the Xfinity Series. And somebody remembered there's an IROC race from 2001. Somebody said, since when did Jeff Green became elite? And I said, 2000 Busch Series champion. That was back when he murdered the field. He pretty much annihilated his teammate Jason Keller by 600-some points before Harvick murdered the field in 2006 by almost 900 points. You're never going to see that again. That's for sure. In this case, I said Harvick was looking for his 3rd straight win, 5th out of the last 7. And I did point out a note, since we brought up Dale multiple times. Dale Earnhardt won 6 out of the first 8 races in 87, if I remember correctly. I think that was when he won 4 in a row as well. So yeah, Earnhardt had that good run in 87. He pretty much dominated 87 in the beginning. Sound kind of like with Bill Elliott in 1992. I think he won 4 in a row and didn't win again until the finale, if I remember. I don't know. Anyways, lap 27, the restart. That's when the restart happened. Kyle Larson restarted in the 14th. I said he could be a contender. In fact, I said he was going to be the dark horse of the race. I know, Ren, you said Larson. You wanted Larson to win. All right. Kenseth was starting to pull away. Stewart Haas were battling with other drivers within the top 5. Like I said, I watched the MRN. They didn't really indicate it. I didn't pay attention to the running board, which I did for the entire time as well. Denny Hamlin was catching Kenseth and took the lead shortly thereafter. This is Hamlin's first race since his injury of Fontana in 2013. Remember, he didn't drive last year because he had metal in his eye, so Sam Horner took over and finished 17th in his only Cup race in 2014. Reagan was running at 39th after the last caution, and this was by lap 30. He only gained 3. He gained 3 spots entering turn 1 and 2, so he was 36. Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson. Remember that classic rookie battle in 2002? I say that was a good rookie battle, rookie class. Johnson had the most points. Newman won the honors, even though Johnson became the first rookie ever to lead the point standings after Kansas. They were battling for 7th along with Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3 laps later after I mentioned David Reagan was running 36. Top 10 went single file. They were trying to figure out how they were going to, the best handling air corner will be, where will their car handle best. Wait till I mention Harvick multiple times, because I did follow Race Buddy as well. I did. The only one avoided to pay attention was Harvick because he was the closest to the front, but alright, top 10 went single file. Kyle Larson went by Brian Scott, nearly hit the wall. Brian Scott was in 16th, Larson in 15th, and return number 2. You would think Kyle Larson would be a contender, right? No, not one bit, and you'll know why if you haven't.
I'm surprised at what Larson's going through. Like, this is a guy that last year started off slow. Auto Club got second. Then kind of stayed quiet, and then the chase started to pick it up, and you're thinking, oh man, he's gonna keep this up in 2015. He's gonna get a couple of wins, and then 2015 starts, and it's like,
do I need to say Jeff Gordon's 1993-94 season? They're kind of similar to a certain degree. Gordon, despite finishing, what did he finish, 8th or 9th in 94, he still had like 9 to 10 DNFs, and he still finished in the top 10. These days, if you have 9 to 10 DNFs, you'll be done. You will not be in the chase at all. Where did I left off? Harvick seemed to be stronger in the corners, but it also tended to lose ground near exit. That was the dominance. That was pretty much what happened. At first, he was not so good at exit. He back and forth was inconsistent on the exits. When he gets a good run, he gets a good run, but he will find a way entering and exiting that he doesn't get by. It is not that easy to get by Fontana to a certain degree. It's not that easy. You have to have a really good run and get by him on the straightaways, or go to the outside lane or on the apron. So Harvick went by Matt Kenseth, took for second after 42 laps. Denny Hamlin was 1 seconds ahead. Martin Truex Jr. still having a solid start, running a ninth. Kurt Busch was on lap 45. Kurt Busch passed Matt Kenseth. Mind you, Kurt finished 5th in Phoenix in his first race back, still ahead of Tony Stewart in points and Brian Vickers. But given the exception of Vickers, Tony Stewart, yeah. We'll mention Stewart later on. It may surprise you if you didn't see the race or don't pay attention where they finished either. Then Rusty Wallace decided to talk about how Kurt Busch is very focused and hungry for a win, trying to prove everybody in the media, especially in the media for the last decade, I may do a video about Kurt Busch, but then again, there's a Kurt Busch Raceaholic video. There's the Outlaw documentary from Speed.
I need to ask you this.
Find info about it. Yeah.
If Kurt had won, how much you bet the very next day the media would be like, "Ooh, a wife beater won a NASCAR race."
Who knows what will happen? It will be an emotional victory lane celebration, big time. I know that.
It's coming. Kurt's gonna get it sooner or later.
If he keeps running like that, he's coming back to the last time he won in Martinsville, so we'll see.
I swear to God, if he's up front at Martinsville and they fuck him over with another stupid-ass debris caution at the end again...
Okay.
If he's up front at Martinsville with about 5 to go and they call another debris caution like they did tonight, ooh.
All right. Hamlin was 1 seconds ahead of Harvick.
Okay.
Go on.
Somebody told me that he thinks NASCAR is trying to keep Kurt from winning because they think it would make it look bad for the sport. How would it make it look bad? Oh yeah, a wife beater wins a race. Boo-hoo. Okay, far worse people have won races in NASCAR. When's the last time we had somebody win a NASCAR race that... When's the last time we had a NASCAR driver win a race that he was known for doing something...
NASCAR racing in general, Travis Quapple later on, Scott Wimmer as well, but for a different reason. And I know you pretty much say he who shall not be named, but Jeremy Mayfield.
Yep. The guy they never talk about in NASCAR anymore. He's like that Mr. Unknown guy.
Hold on a minute.
I swear, one time on Wikipedia, they edited it out, but on Wikipedia they had a list of all-time drivers that raced the 12 car, and when it came down to Jeremy Mayfield, the years that he ran in the 12 car, somebody literally edited it and said Mr. Unknown.
God damn it, Ray! I told you the words you should never say is CM Punk, Chris Benoit, TNA, Wrestling! Jeff Jarrett! Rey Mysterio, UFC! Oh, wait, this is a NASCAR review. Wait a minute. I told you should not mention Kevin Grubb, Jeremy Mayfield, Shane Meal.
What about UFC?
Formula One, goddammit! Even the trucks!
Vince, what about UFC?
Ah! And you've made Vince run away. Oh wait.
Don't worry, Vince. Don't worry, Vince.
Stand back! Somebody's gonna die!
Don't worry, Vince. Brock is keeping you happy until his contract runs out and he goes back to UFC.
God damn it! If he walked out a Raw a couple weeks ago, I don't want a number! God damn it! Who the hell took on my screen? Anyways, back to the race. Kevin Harvick 1.6 seconds ahead. No, Denny Hamlin 1.6 seconds ahead of Harvick. Brian Scott was running dirty. He was doing pretty good. Well, Brian Scott in an RCR car was doing really good. He was.
I actually was pretty happy. But you wanna know what kind of did piss me off? When Brian Scott got the lead, I don't know if it happened where you're at because again you were watching in a different area. But when Brian Scott took the lead in my area, they went to commercial, and when they came back from commercial, Brian Scott wasn't in the lead no more. It was like, what the fuck?
Brian Scott did not lead the race. He didn't. I know Edwards led a lap. Bowman led a lap. I know. Did Brian Scott ever lead when he won the pole? I think he might have. But then again, anybody can lead at Talladega for the most part. If you're not in the wreck. Leaders were catching up traffic on lap number 50. So after 50 laps, here was the top 10. Denny Hamlin led, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch 3rd, Matt Kenseth 4th, Joey Logano 5th, Ryan Keselowski 6th, Dale Jr. 7th, Jimmy Johnson 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 9th, Paul Menard in the top 10. Notables: Jeff Gordon 12th, Brian Scott 13th, Danica Patrick, who her best finish at Fontana is 14th, was running in that spot. Kyle Larson 15th, Tony Stewart 18th, Brett Moffitt 27th, Chris Buescher 30th, David Reagan 38th, 35 on the lead lap. Everybody was still running in the race. Or so we thought at this point. Logano went by Kenseth on the 51st lap, and Kenseth was just struggling after the race. He seemed like the pit crew got the job done. It reminded me, I will mention this again later on, and I noticed it was like, DeWalt. No wonder why they're doing good. Because they, in the 2000s, Matt Kenseth was like arguably, the pit crew and Matt Kenseth were arguably the best team on pit road, arguably in the 2000s. The Killer Bees. I was thinking, the Killer Bees are back. Imagine when the Rainbow Warriors come back. They'll probably do good to Jeff Gordon on pit road.
Who's the only person from the Rainbow Warriors that's still on Jeff's pit crew?
Nobody. Nobody left.
They're all gone.
Yep.
Let's see. Shaq Annals went to become crew chief for Mr. John Cena. Jimmy Johnson.
7. Steve Letarte was just an employee, not a crew member of any kind yet. He will in about 2002, though. Roughly in 2002, that's when Letarte was a pit crew for Gordon before he took over. Stuff like this make me miss Steve Letarte as Gordon's crew chief. But then again, it is his last year. That's why I'm not really bitching anymore.
I've been hearing rumors. I don't know if this is true or not, Otto, but there's major dirt sheets going around that Jeff Gordon may have Ray Evernham be his crew chief for the final race at Homestead. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't think so. Even though, side note, Ray Evernham is also one of the 25 finalists for the NASCAR Hall of Fame 2015 class.
Can they?
2016.
Can they do that? Is Gordon allowed to do that for the final race? Is he allowed to pick a substitute crew chief?
It depends on Hendrick management. If he wants to, he wants to, but I'm not going to buy into it just yet. Keep in mind, the last time Evernham was a crew chief was in 99. I don't think the mentality he had in 99 with him in 2015.
Ray Evernham is Jeff Gordon's crew chief in his final race with the rainbow car.
honorary spotter? I don't know.
All right.
Continuing on. Lap 55, Brian Scott was battling Jeff Gordon. Look at that, speaking of Gordon. For 12. Yes, I know Brian Scott is in an RCR car, but still, it's associated with Full Circle Racing, which the fuck drives the 33? Why can I not think who drives the 33 right at the top of my head? Freaking ballsack, I forget. 33. Who drives the fucking 33? Shit. Who's in the 30? I know Stephen Light drove it in 2012. What can I not think of the 30? Oh, Alex Kennedy. Oh, speaking of Alex Kennedy, the fucker that ruined Kevin Swindell's career in Roush. 38th at Phoenix. 304 out of 312 laps completed. I think they changed drivers in the 33. Okay, Scott drove Vegas. Brian Scott in Las Vegas finished in 13th. So, when Scott drives the car, he does relatively fine. He does when he doesn't get wrecked. Who drove the 33? Michael Annette. It changes. I know it changes a lot, so I can't really say who drives the 33, so that's why. But Slugger Labby is the crew chief. Who was Michael Walters' Daytona 500 winning crew chief for both of the races. Yeah, remember Slugger Labby, the good old DEI in Napa 15? Pepper's Farm remembers. Anyways, Danica Patrick was starting to lose her handling as Tony Stewart, her boss and her teammate, went by her for the 18th spot. Then there was talks about short pitting again, like when Kenseth had to deal with at Atlanta, so did other drivers.
Before we continue on, Tony Stewart, man, props to him. Like, I was not expecting him to be up there.
Well, I did, because he has to at this point. Anyways, Hornish pitted. His struggling was Hornish pitted. It was unscheduled for the most part. Hornish. There's more on him in a moment. On lap 60, Tony Stewart pitted, so did Joey Logano. Carl Edwards, who was running his backup car because he wrecked a subway car in the practice. Need a better paint scheme, Carl. Need a better one. When I saw the 19 paint scheme, I was thinking, this is an Xfinity car. Let me look.
What paint scheme did he race? A Stanley?
The Subway. It's just pure black and yellow. It looked like the freaking Subway car that Edwards drove looked like a freaking car in the Xfinity series because it was basically not creatively unique like what he had at Roush. It's like, man, he needs a better looking paint scheme in my opinion. I'm not gonna judge. Well, I kind of did, but moving on. Lap 61, Kevin Harvick reports having a tight car. He went to the pits. Greg Biffle, along with Jimmy Johnson, Brian Scott, Jamie McMurray, who was struggling again, and Casey Kane. Then the next lap, Kenseth, Danica, Hamlin Jr., Austin Dillon pitted. Then Kyle Larson, Jeff Gordon followed. Gordon battling with a tight race car, very tight. Brad Moffitt had a loose race car, indicated that he had 3 rounds of wedge adjustment. And then after the cycle pit stops, Denny Hamlin leads Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth. I'm almost on my nostalgia crap. And Joey Logano. I'm almost said Tony Stewart in the 20, but he's not in the 20. That's way back. On lap 68, MRN focused on the drive for Claudes. You know what's the
Give Tony Stewart the Home Depot spot.
Okay.
Sorry, continue.
This is the sick, eerie irony. The fact that the race sponsor for the Xfinity Series was Drive for Claudes, and then this thing that happened to Vickers. Irony?
Do you see...
I don't know what to describe that.
Do you ever see Home Depot dropping Kenseth and going back to Stewart before he retires?
I think Stewart will stop running full-time in the near future, so I don't know. I don't know when his sponsor
One more race
expires. Alright.
One more Home Depot. Continue on.
Kevin Harvick won the Xfinity race. Trucks will be back in action at Martinsville. I'll tell you who won that one in the review if I do so. Vickers indicated how he was frustrated he was not able to ride, but he felt okay. He did feel fine when he was in the in the MRN booth. So he does. And at that point, I need to mention Brett Moffitt was to the lap down in 26 after the cycle pit stops. Like I said, Vickers needs to. I hope he recovers, but once again, damn it. Lap 75, Denny Hamlin leads Kevin Harvick by over 2 seconds. Matthew Benedetto was running in last, 4 laps down. 22 cars on the lead lap. And now the question of the day so far. How many laps down is Jeff Burton? Rain, predict. How many laps down was Jeff Burton after 75?
I say about 13 to 14 laps.
3. My goal, I said, if Jeff Burton finishes less than 5 laps down, I'll consider it a good effort. If he's exactly 5 laps down, nope, failed. Just when about 11 or so laps later, the second caution flag comes out. Nobody said anything. It was like, they said debris. Of fucking course. And I had to indicate, it was in turn 3 and 4 they reported.
Hey! Caution is out. What's the caution for? Debris. Where's the debris? That's pretty much what NASCAR said when that caution came out.
And this is the time for me to come back, goddammit! Because Jimmy was running in 7th, Jeff Gordon in 14th. Yep. Every time when there's a debris out, I indicate where Jimmy is at and where's Jeff, because usually some shit goes on when that happens. At that point, Kevin Harvick had the fastest lap on this with a time of 38.91 seconds, 185.009 miles an hour. It was done on lap number 2. On lap 88, there were pit stops. Denny Hamlin had a little bit of near scare with car temperature problems. It was getting right at the highest rate. Got rid of the debris in the grill. Matt Kenseth once again exits out in first. Man, the good old killer bees are back. Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick ran out the top 3. Denny Hamlin 4th. Jimmy Johnson in 5th. Huh. Where's Jeff Gordon? Oh, yeah. Super Jimmy alert. Super Jimmy alert engaged. Jimmy's in 5th. Gordon in 17th. Brian Scott was in 8th. Will Super Jimmy prevail? We'll see. Even though I already know what happened. Lap number 93. 24 cars went on the lead lap. Joey Logano went by Denny Hamlin. Johnson had a terrible restart. Damn it, Jimmy! You need to do better! Even Brian Scott was trying to get by Jimmy. Matt Kenseth seemed to be doing better in clean air. Why does this not sound familiar? Oh yeah, Jeff Gordon tends to do well on clean air as well. Kurt Busch trying to gain a little bit of ground, unable to get by Kenseth. Then on the 96th lap, Busch took the lead. And yes, I already mentioned Matt Kenseth's pit stops were solid. MRN mentioned it. And from Ray's buddy, according to via Trevor Baines onboard, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. almost caused a wreck. Hogged up the field, almost collected Danica Patrick. Oh my goodness, if Ricky Stenhouse and Danica Patrick wrecked. Man. Lap number 98. Sam Hornish hit the wall going into turn number 2 to bring out the first of only 2 legitimate cautions, if you insist. Hit the wall in turn number 2. Trevor Bayne was collected as well, but Sam Hornish got the worst of it. The struggle continues for Sam Hornish. So here was the running order before the pit stop, because this happened just shy at the halfway mark. Kurt Busch was leading Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth 3rd. Joey Logano 4th. Denny Hamlin running out the top 5. At that point, nobody were out of the race. And at that point, I was thinking, Hornish is going to be out. He's losing a lot of laps. Then pit stops happened. Denny Hamlin had a solid pit stop. Some took 2 drivers. They indicated Tony Stewart. Justin Allgaier got the waiver route to be back on the lead lap. Trevor Bayne, meanwhile, was on pit road repairing damage. At halfway, Martin Truex Jr. leads. Tony Stewart. Kurt Busch in 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. Joey Logano 5th. Kevin Harvick 6th. Jimmy Johnson 7th. I almost did it again. Matt Kenseth 8th. Brad Keselowski 9th. Paul Menard ran out the top 10. Dale Jr. 11th. This is 2015 auto, not 2007. Ryan Newman in 12th. Casey Kane in 13th. Brian Scott 14th. Carl Evans 15th. 16th, Kyle Larson. 17th, Eric Almirola. 18th, Austin Dillon. 19th, Danica Patrick. Jeff Gordon 20th. Another shitty pit stop! Hooray! Fucking ass. 21st, Clint Boyer. 22nd, Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher seemed to be running in 22nd the entire time, and so it appeared. 23rd, Landon Castle. 24th, Justin Allgaier. 25th, Casey Mears, running out the lead lap cars. Those following were a lap down. Brad Moffitt, 26th. Ray Biffle, 27th. Cole Wood, 28th. Jimmy McMurray, 29th. What the fuck? 30th, David Gilliland. Ricky Stenhouse, 31st. Typical.
Okay.
Roman 32nd. David Reagan, 33rd. I know McMurray was struggling, so I'll give him a pass.
Joseph Lombard just posted on Facebook the pictures of the race, and here's what he said. He said about the Greg Biffle incident, nobody touched Greg. He got loose and spun around on his own.
I can believe in him. I can believe what he said because he was there. 34. I'll get back on that in a moment. 34th, Trevor Bayne. 35th, Michael McDowell. No, Josh Weiss. I know McDowell drove the 98 a few years ago. Why am I thinking of you? AJ Allmendinger, 36. See, I got that one right. What could have been worse? I could have said Bobby Labonte. 37, JJ Haley. 38. 32. Fuck. Mike Bliss. Man, I'm out of it. 39th, Michael Annett. 40th, Sam Horace. 41st, Brendan Gaughan. 42nd, Jeff Burton. 43rd is Matty Benedetto. Shortly thereafter, Horace will fall in the last. 7 lead changes among 9 different drivers. Harvick still hold the fastest lap from the second lap. Truex and Stewart took right sides, and Denny Hamlin was facing radio communication problem. My thoughts of the first half was, you take the lead, you pull away, unless if you're Matt Kenseth. Stewart-Haas, at that point I was thinking Stewart-Haas is going to win the race. They're going to dominate. Harvick and Busch are going to dominate. Nobody's going to catch. It's going to come down to those two guys. Clean race thus far. Thoughts on the first half, Rain?
Pretty good. Props to Brian Scott. Love his fucking paint scheme down in Xfinity. Props to him for what he was doing today. Kind of bad that Jimmy got a worse restart than Brian. That kind of sucks. But Kenseth had a good car. Harvick got a good car. Kurt had a really good car. And I thought Kenseth had a shot at the end until we'll get into that in the second half.
Yeah, that was just disappointing. People said that. Some people said that. Listen to this. People said, a couple comments that said that phantom debris caution cost Kenseth the race. How? I'll explain later. Nothing to do with Kenseth. Well, maybe. I don't know. That'll be debatable.
What do you think the penalty cost Hamlin? Well, actually, Hamlin kind of.
Not just Hamlin had penalties. Joe Logano had a penalty. David Reagan had a penalty. The only one that I reported in the documentary was obviously.
I remember I was listening to it on the television. Hamlin at first was refusing to pit.
No, he did refuse, and then it kind of reminds me. I was watching the 1984 Uno Twin 125 at Daytona. Dave Marcus was penalized for jumping to start not being in the proper lane. Go watch the 1984 Uno's Twin 125 race 1, the full race. You can see why Dave Marcus was penalized. He was driving for Ray Mach 75. He was side by side with David Pearson in the 3rd or 4th lane. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. But then again, you be the judge. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like that other channel. I'm not gonna be like that other channel that says some stuff were bullshit when it clearly wasn't. 2004 Pepsi 300 in Nashville. 2006 UAW 500. And on and on. Anyways, I'm not gonna vent about that channel because it's like. There are people who have their entitlements and their opinions. Lap 105. Restart. Kevin Harvick was running like a madman and blows by Denny, Hamlin, Truex, and Stewart and Logano. Stewart Hush seems to find a way to blow everybody on the restarts. They got the restarts down. Staying in the second, Kurt Busch led the race. And shall be noted, Stewart and Truex went for 2 tires. Not the best call ever, and they should not do it again. Well, then again, look, ask Landon Castle last year as well. Ask Jeff Gordon about that later on. Anyways, Trevor Baynes on board. I noticed on Trevor Baynes' race buddy on board that Austin Dillon went to the pits on lap 107. He took 2 tires. He also took 2 tires. I don't know how. Maybe he was running at the back of the pack. That's why he didn't gain much spots. And it might have went down to the restarts. Then again, I realized the race buddy feed and the NASCAR website was about half a lap or even a lap ahead of the MRN broadcast, so I would know what happened on NASCAR.com before MRN reported it. Note, Tony Stewart, 36 in points, and he dropped from 2nd to 9th after that restart. Truex dropped to 4th after leading. Lap 110, a massive run into 4 by Kevin Harvick was still in 2nd, but he was catching Kurt. Denny Hamlin running in 11th on lap 111. Too many ones. These go to 11. Lap 114. Jimmy Johnson battles with Matt Kenseth for 4th. Jeff Gordon in 15th. I'm sorry, I had to do this when I mentioned Jimmy and Gordon's not doing too good. Gordon was not a factor in this race at all. And I realized what David Stremme does now. He and her wife Ashley has a dirt late model show on MRN. So I was thinking, so that's what he does now after being sacked by Inception Motorsports and the 30 team. Remember David Stremme was a Chip Ganassi driver? Remember he was in the Busch Series and someone decent? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Hey, the real courtside dollars belongs to Storm Marlin, not David Stremme. I had to go drive for my own. Oh wait, that was Gen Racing, never mind. Anyways, there's a calm race, not much action, and I was thinking, typical Auto Club Speedway of old? Seems like it. Anyways, lap 120, Kurt Busch led Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., Paul Menard, Truex, Hamlin, Keselowski to run out the top 10. I also indicated the top 15. Larson 11, Stewart 12, Gordon 13, Kane 14, Newman 15, Brian Scott 17, Danica Patrick 21st, Chris Buescher 22nd, still in 22nd on the lead lap. Brett Moffitt 29th, David Reagan 32nd, AJ Allmendinger 35th, and Sam Hornish Jr. was the last car winner. Cole Winn was the 27th. Jeff Burton 3 laps down in 31st. Kurt Busch had a slightly 1 second lead over Harvick. And they said if Harvick finishes in the top 2 again, it will be his 8th straight, which will be a few more. Richard Petty owns the record of 11 in 1975. And if Harvick would have finished the top 2, that would be the most ever. It would be the most dominant start ever by anybody, because nobody's finished in the top 2 in the first 5 races. So, based on what happened and pretty much became true, Sam Hornish got his 2nd career last car finish. Here's the list of members he joins with 2 last place finishes. It's a long one. George also broke Bill A. McDonough, A. Jill, Charlie Baker, Ivan Baldwin, Gary Ballou, Andy Belmont, Bill Benson, Tony Bettenhausen, Don Bierman, Gene Black, Pete Bolin, Joe Boer, rest in peace, Joe Boer, Rodney Bodinger, Ron Bouchard, Alex Bowman, Clem Boyer, Trevor Boyce, Richard Brickhouse, Leonard Brock, Perk Brown, Carl Burr, Scotty Kane, John Callis, Billy Carden, Renee Charlin, Richard Childress, Jerry Churchill, Jim Cook, Bob Cooper, Doug Cooper, Joe Coate, Tom Cox, Jimmy Crawford, I'm pretty sure it's the IndyCar driver, Pepper Cunningham, Lloyd Dane, Joel Davis, Dave DeYoung, Glenn Dunaway. He won the first NASCAR race only to be disqualified, and Glenn Roper won that one. No, Jim Roper won that one. Don Egger, Haas Ellington, Tommy Ellis, Ron Rousseau, Ron Eulenfeld, Christian Fittipaldi, Elliot Forth Robinson, Larry Floyd, Alan Franken, Hideo Fukuyama, remember him in the 66. Mike Garvey, remember him in 05. Brendan Gong, Wally Jervis, Steve Gray, Alan Harley, Farrell Harris, Timmy Hill, Gene Hobby, Ron Hutcherson, Marky James, Ken Johnson, Buckshot Jones. Done yet? No! We still have a lot of 2 drivers who finished last twice. Henry Jones, Joe Jones, Possum Jones, Ed Jordan, Bobby Keck, John Kenny, Matt Kenseth, Stuart Kirby, John Krebs. Remember Stuart Kirby drove in Winston Cup in 01? In the 75, Pepperidge Farm remembers Randy LaJoy, Sonny LaFleur, Shep Langdon, Larry LeMay, Paul Lewis, Ed Livingston, Owen Loggins, Fred Lorenzen, the Hall of Famer, Dave Mater III. He was in the Winston in 1992. Giacomo Giacomo, the guy that pretty much T-boned Bobby Ellis into his career-ending wreck of Pocono in 1988. Bill Machado, Jimmy Massey, Harold Mays, Paul Menard, Junior Miller, Juan Pablo Montoya, Ralph Moody, Bunk Moore, Earl Moss, David Moe, Ted Musgrave, Gary Myers, E.T. Nolan, Whitey Norman, Jerry O'Neill, Bob Perry, Dick Bowling, George Paulos, Jeff Purvis, J.T. Putney, David Reagan, Ken Reagan. David and Ken Reagan finished last twice. How funny. Lee Russell, Tim Richmond, Jody Ridley, Burt Robbins, Marty Robbins, a country singer, Shorty Rollins, also a successful NASCAR ride back in the day. Clay Rogers, remember he made Cup stars like last year? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yep. Jackie Rogers, Ernon Rush, Jim Sauter, Johnny Sauter, Connie Saylor, Dorsey Schrader, Ty Scott, Dob Simpson, Slick Smith, Pete Stewart, Don Strides, Brad Teague, Marshall Teague, Dave Terrell, Roscoe Thompson, T.A. Toombs, Dick Walters, Gail Warren, Blackie Wall, Bill Whitey, and Leroy Yarbrough. Those are all the guys that finished last twice in their career, and I apologize if it's a long damn list. And 95% of them you never heard from.
Okay, I was on Facebook just looking around while you were naming off that list. Kyle sent me some memes of him and Zombie. You want to see them real quick?
Why not, as long as they're not copyright? It was a mouthful.
Alright, give me a second. Let me screen share. You gotta see this. Let me click on myself. There we go. Here's one of the memes. Kyle, here's Payback for Homestead. There's Zombie in the 2, Kyle in the 24. Let me open up another meme. I'm a bumper. Hi guys. No, it gets funnier. It's gonna get funnier. Move, slowpoke.
Remind me. Send me a link on the Outlaw site on the comments on the group chat section, please. Because I never could get to download something from that site.
This one's the funniest.
At least unless you're Emerson, who says Gordon hit him. But I have my own title, but I'm not gonna say it on air.
So that's it.
Okay, it would have been helpful if you shared it to everybody, unless I only have that option, but... Alright. After that off-topic, after I was getting a breather, after 130 laps, Kurt Busch led his teammate Kevin Harvick by 1.392 seconds. Harvick was frustrated by the amount of lap traffic. 147 was roughly the estimate speed. I do have the average speed according to Racing Reference when I wrap it up. Kurt Busch was the fastest all week for qualifying due to 3 cracks. I already mentioned that already. Carlos was the last one to do so. Still is. Green flag stop scheme. We're about to come up. Kurt Busch had a 31 race drought. Next week is Martinsville, lap 137. Kevin Harvick almost went by Kurt Busch. Both of them went to the pits. I was thinking, there's no way they're going to make it out. They can make it on one more stop, maybe 2. Kurt Busch beats Kevin Harvick, but they were still practically in the same distance where they came in. And I was thinking, this should be a good finish. I was looking forward to the finish. I was thinking, it's going to be a great finish between those two guys. Who wants it more? Who needs it more? Who desperately needs it? Carl Edwards led that lap, by the way, when they were pitting. Joey Logano, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Brian Scott, Paul Menard all entered the next lap. So did Biffle. After 139 laps, Kevin Harvick almost went by Kurt Busch, loses momentum by a lap car. Lap cars in the way. Those damn lap cars, as NASCAR Nixon would make. 51-34, Allgaier and Buescher pitted, and Kurt Busch retained the lead after 140 laps. Kevin Harvick was still struggling with those lap cars, so the top 5 was 60 laps to go was Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, and Dale Jr. the top 5. And I noticed that both of them seemed to go on the apron. I was thinking that could be the preferred line to gain ground, or find a way to gain ground too. Jimmy went by Jr. Jeff Gordon's in 5th. Next lap, Kevin Harvick tried to catch Kurt Busch, very strong in the exit into turn 3, entering 4, and finally went by for the lead. Kevin Harvick takes it. Kurt was still battling with him. At that point, Harvick was just the strongest car in this round. Meanwhile, back at 41st, Jeff Burton, 4 laps down. Still there. Can he be less than 5 laps down? We'll see. After 150 laps, this was Kevin Harvick's 507th lap lead of the season. 25th at this point. He was leading. He pretty much dominated. He's led everybody among all drivers this season. He has the most laps led. He will lead 9 more laps. Therefore, 516 laps should be exactly the amount of laps he gets led in this season. Kurt Busch was the second, almost 3/4 of a second behind. And here's your top 20 with 50 laps to go. Kevin Harvick leads Kurt Busch. Damn it! Why am I not saying Matt Kenseth in the 21st? It's Tony. I was saying Joey. Charlie Lawrence in 4, Matt Kenseth in 3rd. There. At least it's not that far behind. Jimmy Johnson in 5th. Dale Jr. 6th. Denny Hamlin 7th. It should be yeah, wait a minute. Okay, Keselowski in 7th. That's what happens when you type quick. Menard 8th. 2, 4, 6, 8. No. Hamlin 7th. Keselowski 8th. Menard 9th. Truex 10th. Larson 11th. Gordon 12th. Stewart 13th. Stewart is hanging in there. He's having that Phoenix run. Can he find a way not to wreck? That is the question. 14th, Casey Kane. Carl Lewis 15th. Ryan Newman 16th. Glenn Border 17th. Eric Almirola 18th. Casey Mears 19th. Having another consistent run. Danica Patrick 20th. Brian Scott 21st. Chris Buescher 1 lap down. 22nd. And so he is in 22nd again. Brett Moffitt 25th. Cole Witt 26th. Oh yeah, that was Cole Witt's former ride last year. The 26th car. Ricky Stenhouse 27th, Austin Dillon 30th, David Rager 31st, AJ Allmendinger 35th, Jeff Burton was still at 41st. 4 laps later. 4 laps later. God damn it! Now my guys are leading! Harvick's a Brock Lesnar guy! Oh, what? God damn it! You official bring out the debris yellow! I have no reason for it! Do it now! Do it now! God damn it! Because John Cena is gonna win, and Jimmy Johnson supports him. Debris yellow again. Right there, super.
But Vince, Jimmy got shoved to the back.
This is what happens when Jimmy is in the back. He always defines the odds. Jimmy was in 5th, Jeff Gordon in 12th. And I said to myself, Jaws has been non-factor. It's going to be okay. Nobody's going to stop the Stewart Haas cars whatsoever, so Rusev prevails. WrestleMania 31 is next week. Fuck it. Anyways, 47 laps to go. Final pit stops, perhaps? No, definitely not, especially what transpires later on. Kenseth exited out first, Kurt Busch 2nd, Kevin Harvick 3rd, Jimmy Johnson 4th, Joey Logano 5th, Kenseth another solid pit stop. I think he's beating everybody on pit road at this point, every stop, except for green flags. Kenseth pulled away on the restart on lap 159, Harvick got loose in the corner, and then Jimmy was right behind him. And then when I typed it, he's back. I was thinking, oh boy, Jimmy's going to find a way to win this race. It's been debris yellow after debris yellow. Gordon's not doing that good. Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson will try to catch Harvick. Right, Keselowski from out of nowhere. That's Randy Orton's gimmick. Johnson went by him in the 3. Harvick will not be denied. But once again, the corners, especially in exit, was just not his specialty in that race. Lap 160 after 161 laps. Harvick was much stronger in the straightaway in the backstretch. Johnson was doing well. Keselowski went by Harvick. Harvick was dropping the far thinking, oof, the streak is going to end. The streak is going to end. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth was leading. He was having his best run. That was his best run, in my opinion, when he was hanging on. That was his best run, bar none. That stretch of before. This had to be the caution coming up. That's got to be the caution coming up, if I remember. Brad was having a side-by-side battle with Jimmy Johnson and got by in the 3rd, 3 laps later. So the top 5 was Kenseth, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, and Jimmy Johnson. Harvick's in 6th after 166 laps. Keselowski had a strong run, and then I was thinking, where's Jeff Gordon? Oh yeah, he's still in 12th. Maybe he'll finish 12th in this race, just like Chris Buescher will finish 22nd. Or so we thought. Or I thought, in my opinion. Top 5 were within a second apart. It seems like they're going to be the ones to beat if the race will stay on green. Then Kenseth and Keselowski had a battle for the lead for the next few laps, and mind you not, 2014 Bank of America 500 Charlotte. Remember that? With Kenseth from out of nowhere. That's his gimmick. Matt Kenseth from out of nowhere attacks Keselowski. Brett Moffitt, on the other hand, is in the top 25. Kurt Busch passes Brett Keselowski on lap 170. Then Keselowski all of a sudden lost momentum, lost much ground. Harvick used the apron to gain on Jimmy and Brad, but he was still in fifth. Johnson got loose in the next lap. Harvick gains the 4th spot and chasing down the guy. He tried to man up, and that race that shall not be mentioned. And he went by him on lap 172. And then I noticed on the race buddy on board, Kevin Harvick went by Sam Hornish Jr., and I thought, when was the last time all 43 cars finished in a Cup race? I know 2007 Sylvania 300 Loudon. That got to be the last one, right? Wrong. And you'll find out why. I didn't find out until the Fox broadcast. I was thinking this happened 5 times. Or so I thought it was 5 times. Only to find out this happened 6 times. Prior to the 2007 race at Loudon, the last time there was a race that everybody finished was the 1996 Tyson Holly Farm 400 in North Wilkesboro, which Jeff Gordon won. And it was also the last race in Wilkesboro. I'm guessing either Texas or Fontana replaced Wilkesboro.
Rest in peace, North Wilkesboro. Have you seen pictures of that track lately?
I've seen it. I don't want to re-remind it. It's kind of like it's in his.
My friend's
it's on the decomposed. Hold on a moment. It's in his decomposed face now, and there's really nothing to do about it unless somebody saves it.
My friend Sniper lives in North Wilkesboro, about 3 minutes from the track. He said that they're basically treating it like a piece of crap.
Yeah, there's nothing to do about it. Anyways, Keselowski dropped to 5th on lap 174, and then he was having a battle with Dale Jr. around there. They slightly made contact. Harvick used the bottom of the track again to try to catch his teammate Kurt. Then Harvick clears by Kurt Busch on lap 177. Kenseth was not that far ahead, actually. Despite his battles, he was 0.436 seconds ahead. And the last time that Harvick won at Fontana was in that classic battle with Jimmy Johnson. I remember that race because 2011 is in my opinion, was one of the last true good seasons of NASCAR. Or in my opinion it is, or 2014, but 2014 will be in the 2007 category for me. On a random side note, lap 180, Jeff Burton passed somebody into 40th. And you're wondering, Jeff Burton passed somebody? You're lying. Mike Bliss is the guy that Jeff Burton went by. So we know Jeff Burton can pass cars. That's not a knock on Jeff Burton, but he's just got in the sucker hole. Good for him, but still, man. Had sponsorships worked out, Jeff Burton would have been battling in the championship right now, or could be a championship contender, and denying Matt Crafton a 3rd straight truck title. However, he was 5 laps down, so if he was 5 laps down, that means he did not meet my goal. So at this point, I was thinking he failed it. Times 222. We're 20 laps to go. What are your thoughts at this point before we head to the next topic? That kind of changed everything.
Which I have a feeling you're going to explode on as well. At this point, I was like, okay, Kenseth had problems. Kurtz had a good car. I was not even thinking about Brad. I was like, well, fuck Brad. He's back there. He ain't gonna have a chance. Kurt or Harvick. That was my opinion at the end. I thought it was gonna be Kurt winning the race.
I was thinking that, but I was thinking Kenseth. He's been hanging in there from the last now run. I was thinking maybe Kenseth could win this race and steal it, and the pit crew will be a huge factor. Everyone's had a strong run.
You're probably thinking like if Kurt wins this, it's gonna remind it. If Kurt would have won, would it remind you of Ernie Irvan some way? Because you knew Kurt would be emotional in victory lane.
More like Jeff Gordon.
And it didn't happen.
Kurt Busch had a strong run into 2, but he indicated he'll be half a lap short. Harvick 2.5 laps short from making the distance. I was thinking, Matt Kenseth, can he make it on fuel? And that brings up another topic. Keep in mind this next 2 minutes or so, maybe sarcasm. People are almost gonna run out of gas. Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy? Wait, Jimmy might run out of gas. We don't want to give the fans a good race. We want to give them a good one, but controversial because of the competition and controversy. So fuck it, we're not gonna have a fuel mileage race just to have Gordon win it. Even though Logano won at Daytona. We're gonna make it different. We're gonna bring out a debris yellow, goddammit. When was the last time there was a fuel mileage race? It's been quite a while now, actually. Anyways, Joey Logano had that penalty in the pits. He had the most fuel, so I was thinking, oh boy, Logano's gonna win the race if they stay on the green somehow. Unless they follow Tony Stewart and find a way to not run out of gas. And everything will be fine. Then I was thinking, Matt Kenseth in the walk car. The good times and bad times. I do remember he won at Fontana. You know the race that Casey Gain had a strong car and he blew an engine or a wheel axle. Then in case Jeff Gordon lost a cylinder in the beginning of his downfall and 05 started there.
Yeah.
Pepper's Farm remembers. And I think Robbie Gordon blew an engine, too. Oh yeah, Matt Kenseth did win in 2009. The last driver to won the first 2 races. The last guy to do it before Kenseth, Jeff Gordon. And then just when I say that, 15 laps ago, we have a caution. Okay, this was the last caution before I was thinking, fuck. Johnson's in 4th, Gordon in 14th. Nobody said anything, so I'm guessing it's another debris yellow. And then when I say the Killer Bees, the good old days of Matt Kenseth dominating the pit stops. Gone. And I noticed when Kenseth got out, I was like, man, he had a horrible exit. That was horrible. Horrible exit. The words of Charles Barkley, horrible exit. And I realized, then they said the axle broke. Ah! Somebody said axle! God damn it, Otto! God damn it, Otto! Curtis Axel will not be Mr. WrestleMania like Sean. He will not be Hulkamania. That's gimmick and right. Oh wait, I don't miss. I had my passport Hogan. Never mind. You're right. Axel broke from Kenseth, and just when I say when I noticed those D-Wall suits, because I was starting watching the Fox broadcast by this point. I even wrote Kenseth beat him off pit road. Why? I don't know why. Anyways, here's the top 10. Kevin Harvick. Here's how they exited out. Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, the top 5. Kyle Larson 6, Dale Jr. 7, Ryan Newman 8, Paul Menard 9, Ryan Newman 10.
How many laps to go?
I think that was 14 to go by that point. Before we talk about the next green flag run before the infamous climax, here's some random facts that nobody cares about, but I will say it anyways. Did you know Jason Ratcliffe was Jamie McMurray's crew chief at one point? Like once upon a time ago, like Busch Series in 2001 to be exact, and the good old Williams number 27, Pontiac, and Chevy. Or the fact that Paul Wolfe, Brad Keselowski's crew chief, was a former Busch Series driver in the good old number 6 Ragu Dodge Charger. Yep. Tony Gibson was the guest. I hope Tony Gibson feels well. I know he passed kidney stones to somebody, I don't know, or something like that. He had kidney stones he was dealing with. Hope he feels better. Tony Gibson, once upon a time ago, he was the gas man for Alec Kowicki's championship. Gotta love random facts that don't mean jack shit, but it does to me, damn it. At Kenseth, I thought, oh boy, Kenseth is going to be out of the race. They're not going to fix it. He's going to finish 42nd. And also, I was thinking it was in jeopardy of the every car finishing going to end. And then Denny Hamlin got penalized for uncontrolled tire exiting in the 3. Your thoughts about Denny Hamlin's penalty before we go to the restart and what I saw?
That one was legit. I mean, I do feel bad for Hamlin, but it was legit. The tire did go out on, like, Logano. But there was a split second there that Hamlin was refusing to pit, and I was like, if Hamlin stays out and refuses to pit and they disqualify Hamlin...
They did it to Tony Stewart in the 2001 Pepsi 400, which is another story within another day as far as the... Many people call it the fixation race. I'm not one of those people. I don't have those entitlements. Okay, I was surprised. I thought you were going to say something else, but... Anyways, I'll tell you what happened. So pretty much they were arguing... Who the fuck is this crew chief? I can't remember on the top of my head who's this crew chief. It shouldn't really matter at this point. 11 left. Oh, wait. He exited out in 3rd, but he was going to be dropped to the tail end of the pack. Given that everybody were still on the track, row number 22 or 21, all right. Then the restart, 3 wide between Kyle Larson, Paul Menard, and Ryan Newman. Even Jr., Brad, and Jimmy were battling. They were going 3 wide. They're thinking this is going to get go, or somebody's going to wreck. There's no way all 43 can finish this damn race. Busch took the lead from Harvick. Good restart. Tony Stewart was in 18th. Harvick again, not a good restart. Wendy. As Brad and Dale Jr. went by him, Harvick was now in 4th with 10 laps to go, so the streak was definitely in jeopardy. And who was it? Daryl? Or I think it was Daryl. Somebody mentioned it. That they were running the fastest laps of the race faster to qualify. Not exactly, because Harvick's lap 2 run was still the fastest one of the race, the 2nd lap. Gordon was running 8th with 8 to go, and then they show Andy Petrie analyzed it, and yes, I just saw it was pretty much uncontrolled. It was a little too late, so the penalty was reasonable. Thoughts about the whole Denny Hamlin thing? If you insist to comment on it, go ahead.
Felt bad for him, but you know that call
Hamlin was hungry and
strong.
No fucks given on him. He wanted to win that race.
I wish Hamlin would have pulled a Kyle Busch from a couple of years ago. Be like, fuck you, NASCAR, I'm not pitting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I come here to finish 2nd. Anyways, oh yeah, the comment. There was a comment earlier that I never mentioned that I was going to mention earlier. Who the hell was it that commented? No, who was it? Yeah, no, oh yeah, let me read the comment. I have it in there. It was like in the very beginning of the video. Alright. I have it here. Give me one moment. We've been through this has been an interesting review. I mentioned a mouthful of drivers who finished last twice, including the Reagans, Montoya, Hall of Famer Fred Lorenzen. How does it show you Fred Lorenzen was that damn dominant in the 60s? It's very rare you see him have problems. Kamikaze Games mentioned Brad's most famous line is Kyle Busch is an ass. My name is Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch is an ass. Okay. That was once upon a time ago when you were driving the 12.
Back when you were okay, Brad.
Then Harvick
I'm bragging. Driver of numbers. Driver of the... What number was he in that time?
The 12. Remember, the previous driver of the 12 was David Stremme.
Yeah. I'm Brad Keselowski, driver of number 12, Penske Dodge. Kyle Busch is an ass. And sure enough, a couple of years later, who turned into a bigger ass?
And who became the least controversial Busch? Well, no, that's more disputed. No, who would have thought at this point Kyle Busch was like the saint of the whole bad boy image after all these years, in some people's eyes. Harvick was catching Kurt Busch, took the lead, but Kurt was having a strong run entering 4. Kenseth appeared to be on the track, so there was no sign of him finishing 42nd. He was the highest one car, one lap down in 31st. Sam Hornish, 43rd, 54 laps down, but he was still at the finish. Kurt Busch had a 40.39 lap, according to Darrell Waltrip. That's what I indicated in my notes, and I'm watching the Fox coverage. Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson were battling for third as the Stewart-Haas duo of Harvick and Busch pulled away. Jr. prevails, so he got third. Jeff Burnham went back to 41st. Fuck, even Mike Bliss was ahead of Brendan Gong. I even said that in there. Gordon drops to 8th. Casey Kane went by him. Harvick won't be denied of the West Coast sweep with 3 laps to go. So here's some radio. Here's the infamous, but you probably love it at heart. Vincent Kennedy McMahon random crap. Wait a minute. Who's leading the damn race? Vince. Do not ruin the race. Harvick's my guy. And what Kurt did, I don't want my 8-year-old. Oh wait, I don't want my 8-year-old kid looking up Kurt Busch. Never mind, Vince, go make the call. God damn it, I don't want them to win. Rock walking out. Rock want to go to UFC. Fuck him. Double yellow. And there is the caution with 2 laps to go. Here's what people said. According to NASCAR, that's what NASCAR said. Whether you buy into it or not. NASCAR said spotters were mentioning there was debris on their track. Oh, really? Where's the footage? We never know. I don't know. They said it was in around turn 3 and 4. That's what I heard.
Damn, we got debris on the track. Caution. Oh, thanks, NASCAR. Where's the debris? I don't know. Oh yeah, it was that random water bottle that fan threw out on the track. Yeah, it was going to bust up somebody's engine, so, caution.
Alright, I wrote fucking A, 2 laps ago, caution, green, white, checkered, Gordon in the 10th, for what? Debris? Of course debris, but where? From Hornish? Who?
What was your reaction when it happened? You were like, okay, Kurt's got it. Caution's out. What for?
I was thinking,
Where's debris?
No, I was thinking, fucking cars. From who? Hornish? Hornish is the most damaged car on the track.
And they don't show the debris, and you're like,
They
really?
usually never do unless if it's significant.
When they did that, were you like, really?
No, I was thinking, ugh. Pit stops. Jimmy's gonna find a way to win. Somebody's gonna win, not named Stewart-Haas. There's gonna be a disaster happening. Similar to the 2014 race. Not really. Anyways, at scheduled distance, Kurt Busch led Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr. in 3rd, Jimmy Johnson 4th, Brad Keselowski 5th, Brian Newman 6th, Bowman R 7th, Casey Kane 8th, Marjorie Shooter 9th, Jeff Gordon 10th. 11th, Kyle Larson, Carl Lewis 12th, Eric Almirola 13th, Joel Egan 14th, Danica Patrick 15th, Stewart 16th, Austin Dillon 17th, Clint Boyer 18th. Did I mention Clint Boyer already? No. Okay. 19th, Casey Mears 20th, Justin Allgaier, David Reagan 21st, Chris Buescher still in 22nd. Will he finish there? We'll see. Greg Biffle 23rd, Danny Hamlin 24th, 25th was Ricky Stenhouse. The bottom 5 to round out the 30 cars on the lead lap were Brett Moffitt, Jamie McMurray, Cole Whitt, Brian Scott. What the hell happened to Brian Scott at the late in the run? I have no idea. Landon Castle in 30th. I was hoping he had a good finish, but he was non-factored at the second half at all. Here are the bottom 13. Kenseth 31st, Bowman 32nd, Bain 33rd, Gilliland 34th, H. Allmendinger 35th, Josh Weiss 36th, Michael Annett 37th, J.J. Haley 38th, 39th, Mike Bliss 40th, Brendan Gong 41st, Jeff Burton 42nd, Matthew Benedetto 43rd, Sam Hornish Jr. Everybody went to the pits, or so we thought. And then Jamie Little indicated that Kevin Harvick is going to take 4 tires, and then I saw, fuck, Jimmy won with 2. Hey boy, I reckon that poor Glacier is coming back to win the damn race. Here's why. Nope. Kevin Harvick went with 2. Fuck yes. Harvick is going to win. And so did Kurt Busch win with 2 tires. Pretty much most of the field did. So rounding out the top 10 was Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Paul Menard in 5th, Carl Edwards 6th, Kyle Larson 7th, Joe Logano 8th, Casey K 9th, Martin Truex Jr. 10th. However, somebody said Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, and Jeff Gordon stayed out of the pits. Really? Really? I know it's his last season, but really? You think you're gonna fucking win a race when you know everybody pitted? I said fucking bullshit. Watch Gordon get buried in this restart. Watch. Watch. Last time something like that happened in the closing laps, hell happened. Denny Hamlin had problems in the pits and in the right rear, so he was basically done blown up. He was not a factor. Me, I hated the call. I hated the call big time. I did. I hated the decision by Alan Gustafson, who was generally prone for mediocre and questionable calls. So my thought, bad call. I did not like that call because I know what usually happens when something shit like that happens. Ronnie Childress, another random fact, he was David Rudiman's crew chief back in the day. I think he got him the win in the Coke 600 in Chicago. He won it 4 tires, but Harvick did not. He was like, "I'll go with 2 tires." He pretty much self-thought he's gonna go with 2. He knew nobody's gonna go with 4. At this point, it was okay. So it was a bossy move and it was an excellent strategy. I probably did not win well. And then Childress realized. Thank goodness Harvick did what he had to do. Imagine if they fuck it up. On a random, irrelevant crap, I said, watch Gordon finish 42nd and have another green light checker. Just watch. Watch Gordon finish 42nd. He's going to get wrecked. He's going to get wrecked. He's been wrecked. He's wrecked every car but in Phoenix. And the Sprint Unlimited. And the duels. No, Gordon had damage in the Unlimited. Never mind. And then I was like, 204 will be left. There's a restart left. 2 or 3 is like, oh, fuck. Kurt Busch made the 3-way, and adios. Same old shit for Gordon, but who made the call? I don't fucking care. Gordon's going to lose again, even though he was non-factor. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick pull away, and then I saw a rear bumper flew from out of nowhere. It was a big one. I was like, this has to be a legit debris yellow.
Okay.
This is a legit debris yellow.
When that happened, Otto, there was a split second. I saw that debris fly off Larson's car, and I said, if they don't call a yellow here, and they wait to the white flag, and they call a yellow with Brad up front, I'm going to explode. Luckily, they called a yellow at the right time.
That was a legit debris yellow. And it was like, Larson, I was thinking, another green light checker. You know what this means? Bumpergate 2.0! For those who don't understand what Bumpergate means, Bobby Ellison won the 1982 Daytona 500 with his rear bumper flew off. People said that got him an aerodynamic and a draft advantage. Watch the 1982 Daytona 500 if you insist. Somewhat forgotten to a certain degree as a Daytona 500 lore. Gordon drops to 3rd. Menard almost catch him. Tony Stewart in 7th. And where did Greg Biffle ended up? In 24th. So, you think he would not pit, right? He did pit. Trevor Bayne, Matt Kenseth, Michael Lynette as well. 31 cars on the lead lap. And every one of the cars are still running. 43 of them. And then Mike Joy brings up that the last time all 43 cars finished was the 2013 Brickyard 4. It was like, great, I was wrong. And again, I don't remember much about the Brickyard 400 2013 at all. That was the last time all 43 cars finished, but I still remember Boyer won that race in Loudon. Oh yeah, who finished last in that race? Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton. Not Jeb Burton. For those new fans out there or have forgotten about Jeff Burton. He finished last, 50 laps down that day.
Isn't Jeff Burton like Jeff Burton's son?
No, he's Ward Burton's son. Go watch the Ward Burton Caterpillar promo.
Everyone, like, every time I think of Jeff Burton, I'm like, isn't he related to Jeff because, you know, the last name?
And their first name sounds very familiar.
Nope, it's from
Jeff
Ward.
Burton. Jeff
It's from,
Burton.
yeah, it's from Ward's side. Here's a random side note. What car number Jeff Burton drove in 2013? The 31.
66. It was a backup car.
No, it was the 31. This is 2013. Who won the Brickyard
Oh,
400
31.
that year?
Yeah.
Who won the Brickyard 400 that year in 2013?
Ryan Newman.
Yep. Guess who drives the 31 now?
Newman, and he hasn't won a race since.
Nope. What team was Newman driving when he last won?
I can't remember the name of the team.
Stuart Haas. What did the 39 become? And who replaced Newman? See what I did there? See what I did? Kevin Harvick. So I was thinking, Harvick's going to win the race maybe. Nah. Who knows? It will be the 7th, if everything goes smoothly, it will be the 7th race in NASCAR history to have every car finish. Darrell Walter was getting all excited where in the world you see racing have all cars finish. It's very rare, Darrell. Very rare. If I remember, the last Formula 1 race that every car finished was recently, actually. I know Monza 05. No, 05 or 06? 05, everybody finished. I know that far. Jeff Burton was now 4 laps down, so I was thinking, yes, he's going to meet the goal. He's going to make it. Fox shows a flashback of the 2013 race where Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin battled, and Hamlin wrecked. Kyle Busch ran onward from the outside, one of the best last lap passes I ever seen. Went by him. Kyle Busch won. And that's also, I believe, isn't that the same race that Stewart and Logano fought? Or that was last year? I think it was 2 years ago. It had to be 2 years ago. Because Logano was running like a man-to-man, and Stewart. My opinion, Stewart should have gone lower. He should have went by him on the grass instead of, Fred Moffitt was in 16.
It was 2013. It was 2013.
Okay, because I don't remember nothing from 2014 other than Larson having that good run in Atlantic Castle and almost winning.
Only thing I remember about after the race, the only thing I remember about the post-race, I'm going to bust his ass.
So the question is, who will win the last
Tony
Richter Trophy? Yeah, that's the name of the trophy for the Auto Club 400. So Kurt Busch still led us. Keselowski went by Harvick thinking the streak is over. So yes, the restart. The restart around the world. Kurt Busch took the white flag. Keselowski second, Harvick third, battling for the win. And I saw smoke. I was thinking, oh great, somebody's gonna DNF. Everybody's wrecking. Then I was like, no yellow. All cars gonna still finish. That's why I was emotionally bad. I was not paying attention on the Keselowski. I was worried. I was concerned. Like, everybody's gonna finish. Everybody's gonna finish. No, somebody spin. Keselowski took the lead. By that point, if you saw very close, he already had the lead before they showed Biffle. I was like, Biffle wrecked. And then I looked back, I was like, he does not have that much damage that I saw. No debris. I don't think there was debris anywhere. And I'm looking at Joseph's video. I'm not sure if that's Danica Patrick or Clint Boyer. I personally believe he got turned. Biffle got turned. I can't tell because when he sees it, it just catches the moment. But I see, yes, there's a car underneath, or somebody went going by Biffle. It looks like a pink car, but I don't know who that is. It's a blue car.
Put the speed
Danica. Put Biffle. So
put the speed settings down in like a slow speed. There's a speed setting There's a speed setting thing on the video. Just use the speed set and then.
No, like Joseph is moving all over the camera all over the place, but Biffle saved it from any further damage. I'll give props. Biffle saved it without much damage.
Let me guess. When Brad won, Joseph was like, "Damn it!"
I don't know. I'm not playing the audio yet because I'm just seeing it, but I think somebody turned Biffle. I don't know who that was because the camera was moving quite a lot. So I was thinking, Busch goes still leading, Keselowski goes by Harvick, the streak over, and then I was like, no yellow, okay, clean racing. Biffle pulls away, he ends up in 32nd, and then I saw Keselowski and like, oh great, fuckboy wins. And I was thinking, who finished second? Did Harvick finish second? I did not saw Harvick, and I was thinking, type. And I heard, it sounded like Kurt, and I was like, oh, wow. I was thinking, Harvick finished second.
As soon as you saw Brad cross the line and win, you're like, here come the angry comments.
Yep. Not just from that. I was thinking, yep, I'm doing the review later tonight. I'm not doing it immediately after because I know there was going to be a lot of stuff happening. So Keselowski won. Kurt finished third. Harvick's streak still intact. Jimmy in ninth. Gordon in 10th. And I put rage if you can. I'm sorry. Since I did not pay attention, I was not surprised. I was not angry. I was thinking to myself, like, what is Rain thinking? What is everybody thinking about this? I've been thinking people are.
Oh, I wanted to break my fucking TV. If you were around me, you probably would have left. You probably would have. If you were around me when Brad won the race, you probably would have shit yourself.
Yeah.
I can't stand when NASCAR does that stupid shit.
I saw no debris, so yes, for the first time since the 2013 Brickyard 400, every single car finished. And then when I was seeing Keselowski during burnouts, I was hearing a pro crowd. No, not the Pro 174. I'm talking about a pro. Keselowski was like, okay, hit the brakes. He led one lap. One lap. Just like his first win in 2009. Keselowski won. What else is there to say? That's simple. In the first race I do a review back, another of my bottom 5 drivers wins. Because Jimmy is not my least favorite driver these days. He's really not. Given that Gordon is at the end of his career, I may have to start realizing Jimmy.
What do you think is going to be talking about?
Hold on a moment. I'm going to hate doing the comparison if Johnson's still doing well, Gordon not so much. I'm going to hate myself for waiting until November, not doing it before the season. Because it looks like Jimmy's starting to creep up on Gordon's stats, and I'm worried about it. But that's not till November, and if I have time to write it. Okay, ask your question.
What do you think is going to be more talked about next week? Hold on. What do you think is going to be more talked about next week at Martinsville? Kevin Harvick trying to get 9 top 2 finishes in a row, or Chase Elliott making his debut?
Oh shit, you're right. Chase Elliott's debut is almost here.
Get ready. All I'm going to say is all this week, get ready for Chase Elliott, Chase Elliott, Chase Elliott, Chase Elliott, Chase Elliott. Pound it down your throat.
Does Gage Fan 48 still does the how many times you say right now and all that? Because I'm waiting for that to happen. You have a lot of this controversy. I see it somewhat of a blessing and also not so much of a and also a negative. A blessing because it's gonna get a lot of people talking about next week, but not so much of a blessing because it's just a criticism of appreciation.
I know it's not gonna happen. Could you imagine them hyping up Chase Elliott all week and he wins his first week?
I still have not found who I used to have a NASCAR Chronicle book. It's in my house somewhere in the deep section in the basement somewhere. I don't know. No, not basement, in the garage. I have to look that up. I have to find it, but Xfinity Series point standings before we wrap it up here, because we're pretty much done covered. But I'm like, first 5 races has not been good. This season has not been as good as I hope.
In your opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinion, do you think NASCAR rigged this race?
Hold on one moment. Here's your top 10 in the Xfinity Series points standings because they're not running this week. Ty Dillon leads the championship to Chris Buescher. I'll mention where Buescher finished in a moment. Was it 22nd, you may ask? No. Was it a better improvement or no? Well, yeah, I'll tell you in a moment. He's 5 points ahead of Chris Buescher. Chase Elliott's third in the points, 15 behind. Ryan Reed, fourth. Darrell Wallace Jr., fifth. Brendan Gong, sixth. Regan Smith, seventh. Elliott Selder, eighth. David Starr, ninth. Brian Scott, 10th. 11th, Daniel Suarez. 12th, Ross Chastain. 13th, Jeremy Clements. 14th, J.J. Yaley. Yes, I'm saying the top 20. Fuck it. Dakota Armstrong, 15th. Ryan Sieg, 16th. Blake Cook. Blake Cook has been on the media as of late with meeting all these rap guys from Florida. And yeah, I'm calling it Florida because I think Florida is a lip-syncing stale ass. Don't even get me started on music. 18th, Landon Castle. K.O. Conley, 19th. Eric McClure in the top 20. Some people have commented that anybody but Harvick. Anybody but Harvick's like, really? You're saying anybody but Harvick, but not anybody but Jimmy? Harvick has been the strongest car the last 2 years, and I said it in the preview. This is his second year. Watch out. I think he'll be stronger than ever. Even more stronger. He's proven it so far. All right. Final results after 209 laps. Brad Keselowski gets his first win of the year. Kevin Harvick gets his 8th straight top 2 finish, 5th in a row this season. A record. Joe Logano also breaks the NASCAR record, finishing on the lead lap for 22 consecutive races. Nobody's done that. That is impressive. I was like, man, that's impressive for Logano. I'm guessing the streak began after Loudon. It makes sense. Because you know what happened at Loudon with Logano and Morgan Shepherd. Anyways, 3rd, Kurt Busch, Paul Menard. 4th, Ryan Newman. 5th, Dale Jr. 6th, Joey Logano. 7th, Martin Truex Jr. with another impressive run in 8th. Johnson 9th. Gordon runs out the top 10. 11th through 20th, Eric Almirola, Justin Allgaier, Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart. He finishes at 14th, finally! 15th, Ricky Stenhouse. 16th, Austin Dillon, Casey King. 17th, David Reagan. 18th, Danica Patrick. 19th, Chris Buescher, and his debut rounds out the top 20. 21st, Jamie McMurray, disappointing run. 22nd, Brett Moffitt. 23rd, Casey Mears. 24th, Cole Whiff. 25th, Landon Castle. 26th, Kyle Larson. 27th, Brian Scott. 28th, Denny Hamlin. 29th, Trevor Bayne. 30th, Clint Boyer. 31st, Matt Kenseth. 32nd, Greg Biffle. 33rd, Alex Bowman. 34th, AJ Allmendinger. 35th, David Gilliland. 36th, Josh Weiss. 37th, J.J. Haley. 38th, Michael Annett. 39th, Jeb Burton. I think that's his best finish, if I recall. Doubt it, but most likely. Atlanta might be approximate. 40th, Mike Bliss. 41st, Brendan Gaughan. 42nd, Matt DiBenedetto. 43rd, Sam Hornish Jr. 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 18 seconds was the official time of the race. Average speed, 140.662 miles an hour. 7 cautions for 31 laps. Margin of victory, 700.7110 seconds. 19 lead changes among 9 drivers. Third straight last lap pass in a row with Fontana. 418-mile distance. Harvick had the fastest lap with a 38.917 second on lap 2. 32 on the lead lap. And Mike Choi had the audacity to say, this is March Madness. Well, Mike, you're right. There is madness. And a lot of it. But Chris Myers, what was it? Chris Myers and Mike Choi said an upset? No. Keselowski's not an upset win. He's a threat. A threat to win any given stretch.
Yeah, Daryl! Look at Brad Keselowski win the race, Daryl! Yeah, Daryl! Man, Brad Keselowski, this is sure March Madness, Daryl! What'd you think? Yeah, Daryl! Congratulations, Brad!
Hold on. I gotta say this. I hope Xavier beats Arizona. Fucking Ohio State and Southern Texas didn't do shit to win. Arizona wins, everybody loses, period.
So, final thoughts on this race before the video's over.
Hold on.
Otto, your opinion.
Hold on,
Was this race rigged?
I'm not done yet. Here's the top 16 standings. in total points. Harvick leads. Joey Logano. I have the point system with me right now, actually. Kevin Harvick leads the championship by 28 points over Joey Logano. Martin Truex Jr. in third, 33 behind. Dale Jr. fourth. Brad Keselowski fifth, 62 behind. Newman sixth. Let's give Ryan Newman the consistency he had. He seems to find a way to finish in the top 5. I think that's his third straight top 5 in a row. I pointed it out in the notes. Johnson 7th, Casey Kane 8th. Johnson's in 7th. Paul Menard 9th. Eric Almirola the 10th. AJ Allmendinger, the biggest loser out of the whole 16 guys, went from 5th to 11th. Casey Mears 12th. Matt Kenseth 13th. Denny Hamlin 14th. David Reagan 15th. Carl Edwards rounds out the top 16. When it's inverted based on the wins, Harvick leads Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Jimmy Johnson. And everybody else drops. Question, Rain. What if, when Kyle Busch comes back, David Reagan is still in the top 16? And he's still not won? What will they do? I thought about this. It's like, what if...
difficult for NASCAR.
If he comes back by July and Reagan is in the top 15 or in the top 10, they're going to have a lot of decisions to make. But look at that 34. Unless the 34 becomes stronger, Reagan is going to be exiled out of the chase like that. Notables: Carl Edwards 17 points, Kyle Larson 19th, Clint Bowyer runs out the top 20, Jimmy McMurray is in 17th. Gordon gained 3 spots into points in 22nd, Danica Patrick 23rd, Justin Allgaier 24th, Kurt Busch with a solid run yet again, 28th, Cole Whipp 30th, Brett Moffitt 31st, Tony Stewart in 32nd, so he gained 4 spots. And I said, once again, Fontana finds a way for a good closing, but the race gets a 6.75 out of 10. I guess officiating and Brad winning may have to do with it, and also the kind of like run in the middle was like another typical race.
My final grade, because Brian France is an asshole, 1 out of 10. Fuck this race.
Alright, here's some shout outs. I call it snaps, so I do this every race. So snaps to Ryan Newman for a 3rd straight top 5 finish. Snaps to Jeff Burton, finishing 4 laps down. He met the goal. Hopefully he gets better and better and doesn't lose that many laps. Paul Menard for a 7th place run. Justin Allgaier. I typed in just Allgaier for whatever reason. Justin Allgaier, another snap for 12th place finish. Of course, Kurt Busch. Martin Truex Jr. for another top 10. Tony Stewart gets snaps for Tony Stewart to finish in the top 15. And same for Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher,
You're forgetting Brendan
no
Gaul.
experience whatsoever, finishes in 20th. My what the fuck category belongs to Jeff Gordon and Alan Gustafson for that pit call. Kyle Larson not showing much at all. And NASCAR with the 3 yellows except Larson's rear bumper and the officiating. And many people saw
What the fuck moment of the race and what the fuck moment of the year so far? The breed caution when Kurt was up front.
Sam Mortis Jr. What the fuck's like, man, can he catch a fucking break? Disappointed. The entire Joe Gibbs team, bar none. They had a strong car and they had nothing to show for. Reagan in 18th, Denny Hamlin 28th, Matt Kenseth 31st. Kyle Larson, he is also in the disappointed club. Brian Scott at the end, and Casey Mears said just non-fact. He had nothing to show for it, but he's still in the top 16. Overall, it's going to go down as a bullshit moment, controversial race. The race that NASCAR wanted to take a win from Kurt. In my opinion, it was an okay race. I hate the fact Keselowski won, yes, but do I think it's rigged? I don't say that. I really don't answer that question ever because there's some moment I don't want to think of it that way. I want to enjoy it for what it's worth. That's what I view this race.
My opinion, I don't care. My opinion, I don't care what anybody says. NASCAR rigged it.
Seeing a lot of people said that, so everybody will agree on you. I do call it the WWE on wheels sometimes, especially in 2013. Since it's the first 5 races, here is the point standings after 5 races. Who is outside? Yes, I'm saying the top 35. Who cares? I'm looking up the top 35 in 100 points. Well, driver points in general, because it doesn't really matter really anymore. But it shall be noted. 35th in points. Well, Sam Hornish is in 30th, by the way, for those who don't know or care. Alright, let me load this point standings. Let me load the point standings. Come on, let me load the fucking point standings. Come on. We're almost done here. Rain, what is your thoughts of the first 5 races as I... Oh, no, hold on, I got it. Hold on, I got it.
Harvick.
Alright. Yeah, pretty much Harvick. It's been Harvick kicking ass. Busch kicked ass in this race. Harvick! He's on an other zip code. 35th is Michael McDowell. Guys who are outside the top 35 who has run every race are Josh Wise, 36, Jeff Burton, 38. Mandy Benedetto's 43rd. 46 drivers has been classified. The drivers who have run a race but not eligible for points are Landon Castle, J.J. Ely, Brendan Gong. Wait a minute. Yeah. Brendan Gong, Mike Bliss, Regan Smith, Ryan Blaney, Brian Scott, Johnny Saunders, Jody Nemechek, Ty Dillon, Matt Crafton, and Chris Buescher. They are not eligible for points. First 5 races is like that. Harvick kicking ass. Once again, Paul Menard. I mean, that consistent start in the year. The question is, can he finally put the whole package together? Can he finally put the whole pack together? This story has been the disappointments of Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and Sam Hornish Jr. They have not been doing well at all. Gordon has been hit and miss. Stewart finally showing something. So going into Martinsville, will I do a review? Maybe. But these next 5 races, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 5. And this is where the business is about to pick up. If Gordon does not pick it up from this point, he's going to miss the chase somehow. Final thoughts of the first 5 races and overall. My final thoughts is that hate who won. Let's move on.
Now we move on to Martinsville next week. 2 things to look out for next Sunday. 1, the debut of the future, Mr. Chase Elliott. Get ready for him to be shoved down your throat. And 2, WrestleMania 31. Get ready to have Roman Reigns shoved down your throat and up your ass.
Think about Mania. I'm not going. I don't know how I said that in Vince's expression, and I'm still pissed off that I'm not going, or even to watch it. I have a newspaper meeting, so I won't even bother to watch it. But yeah, Roman Reigns gonna win. I hope this is not Taker's match. Personally, I don't want this to be Taker's.
There's been talk. I've been reading some.
Mania 32. If I can go to Mania 32, I hope that is Taker's. I just want to see the entrance for once in my life.
I've been hearing reports on Bleacher Report that Brock secretly resigned, and that I don't think they're going to go this way. But what if Brock won at WrestleMania? What if?
Orton's going to win the match over Rollins. Rollins will catch in. Rollins wins. End of story.
Reigns turns heel, attacks Lesnar. Rollins comes out, cashes in. I guess that's the only way you could do it then.
Yeah, but I'm still pissed off that I won't get to see this Mania. The closest Mania since 19. Northwest guy.
I know Emerson called it a 3-hour puppet show, but he hinted that he might go to WrestleMania 32.
God damn it, Emerson, we're going! Well, then again, that's all they're going to talk about down there, and I may be in Texas living there soon enough. I don't know, but we'll see what happens at Martinsville. If you can bring Emerson, but I think Emerson is sleepy, so never mind. But, yeah, till we meet again, all I got to say is fuck Cena, fuck Brad Keselowski, and NASCAR's officiating.
NASCAR.
I have no idea what to say, but good night. Oh, good night.